Hello, this is Keith, the RV guy from Touchdown RV. Today we have some special guests. Everyone I speak with always says, I always wanted to RV. I always wanted to RV. So I have a special guest today, a special couple, and I want to talk to them about their experience during their first RV trip. So let's bring them in. All right, are you guys there?
Yes.
We are here.
All right. Please introduce yourself.
Devorn Blewett.
And I'm Pam Blewett.
All right. Thank you guys very much. So for those, this was actually our DJ at my wife's and our wedding. So we were running into each other time to time in the stores and things like that. And the question always came up, you still doing that RV thing?
Yep.
Yep. And then finally we connected, and they actually been on 2 RV trips. So we actually want to kind of talk about that. So Divine Opinion. So where do you think the RV desire came from? Like, what do you think you?
For me, it was just always on my bucket list, kind of. You know, everybody has a bucket list of different things. So for me, it was one of those things. I was telling her that it was just always on my bucket list when we did traveling on the road, and I would see couples go by in these big RVs, especially Class A RVs. I was like, man, that looks like that would be so much fun. So it was just kind of a thing on my bucket list.
Right. Oh yeah.
And I think he, when we first started talking about it, it was kind of like we were thinking about going with his parents.
Okay.
And traveling with them to kind of give them the experience as well.
Right.
So, but then his parents was kind of like iffy about it.
Okay.
I told Vaughn, I said, I really would like to do this. And my husband is the type that once he gets something in his mind, he goes full force. Like his thing was, we're gonna buy one.
Right.
And I was like, no, I think maybe we need to test the waters to see if this is something we really want to do. So that's kind of how it all started. That's true.
Right.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But who was at the RV show? We went to an RV show.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, nice.
See, I got her.
We
went to an RV show right before COVID. We went to that last one before COVID,
you're right.
and went in there and was just looking at it. It was our first time really going to a show. And of course, we were amazed, and it's all new stuff. And we saw all the different classes, and we got to learn. And we saw a travel trailer that she loved, and she tried to talk me into buying it.
So I am going to back up. You're right. It did.
Buy it on the spot.
But once I came to my senses, I was like, what am I talking about? We don't even know if we can do this. And then he was on the bandwagon, so I kind of had to slow him down because one day I would have looked up, he would have been in the driveway.
Pack up, it's time to go. Right. Yep. So as you kind of went through the process, how did you come up with like where you wanted to go and I guess dates, I guess around schedules though, but how did you pick where you wanted to go?
That was actually me. I do a lot of research whenever we travel.
Okay.
So I look at websites, I look at reviews, I do everything because I want to make sure that we're getting the full experience no matter where we're going. If we're going on a cruise, if we're going to a resort. So I treated this RV thing the same as I do anything else that when we travel. So I just kind of started going on the KOA sites and it was at first it was overwhelming. And so I had told Ryan, I said, there's what's that Facebook page we were on? And I think
we were on a couple I signed up for a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I was on Black People Camp too. Yeah. When I started seeing the kind of RVs I thought I was interested in, I was in the Thor group, I was in 50 and over group. I was in a lot of different groups.
So we started asking questions with them like, hey, what would you recommend? What's a good place to start out? So they started giving us recommendations. And then from those recommendations, that's when I started really researching and kind of narrowed it down. And I'll be honest, two sites that we've been to, I absolutely love both of them. We have not had a bad experience so far.
I think for us, once we really sat down and knew that we were doing it, once we knew we were renting from you, figured out where we wanted to go. I think our big thing was we don't want to go too far.
Right.
You know, we don't want to go on a 4 or 5 or 6 hour place
Right.
and realize, oh man, this ain't what we thought it was. So we wanted it to be within like 3 hours.
Okay.
One way. And we knew with it being our first experience, we wanted full hookup.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how did you learn? So that's a good transition. So how did you learn the difference between the black tank, gray tank, full hookup, water
So,
only, electric
From
only?
you.
So yeah, a lot of it was from
right.
And then once you kind of filled us in, because that first time we came to you, remember I videotaped everything you were saying.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we were able to use that, and then I went online and started comparing stuff,
watching videos.
And then actually, when we went to the first campsite, there was a guy next to us he's been doing it a long time, and he basically just jumped in and helped us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
that's
like,
awesome.
Hey, I'm gonna show you guys what.
I will say that's one thing that we kind of found out really quickly is that season.
Let me interrupt you. What did you think before you got to the campsite? Did you anticipate like you have like you feel like a stranger or like a outcast?
Yep. I felt like I was I'd be a greenhorn for sure. Like I didn't know nothing and that it would show. So we tried to gather up all the information. We started putting lists together.
Right.
We went on sites and I got a site that I put on my phone of things that you must have.
Okay.
And we added little things to that. But yes, we definitely thought we would get there and be like, we're not going to fit in. This is going to be weird. Once it gets dark, is she going to get all scary?
Because you know what, Keith, that was a fear for me. I think that was one of my fears is that, like I was telling him, because at first, when his parents didn't want to go, we were trying to get his cousins to go because I kept having this thing is safety in numbers. Right. So I was like, I want the more people in case we have to fight or something happens, you know, we have to protect each other. So
So, but how does that compare to when you got there? What was the experience?
Oh my God, it was totally different because once we got there, like I said, the guy, the neighbors next to us, they started helping us. The campsite that we went to, the
owner was so friendly.
He was so nice and over the top.
When he found out it was our first time, he was over the top nice.
And he came to see us the whole time we were there to check on us.
Yeah,
nice. If we needed anything, any questions. It definitely is a community.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that until we got there. That it really is a community.
And we decided another thing to reiterate on what we were saying. When we decided we wanted to go KOA, we decided we wanted a full hookup, and we decided that we didn't want to be truly just out in the woods on our first trip. So we kind of wanted to go to a place that was bigger, more local. You're kind of not far from a city, but of course, when you get to the campground, it's like you're at the campground.
Right.
We 40 miles out in nowhere.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's awesome. Now, what about? I'm not sure if Pam drove, but what do you think about driving? So I think that's a lot of people have a little apprehension about. That thing is big.
Right.
Actually, it's not a good comparison for you because you drive those big red things. So.
Right. So I'm a firefighter and I drive fire trucks. So it was not a big deal for me. We rented both times we rented a Class C from you. Loved both of them. And for me, to be honest with you, it was basically you're just driving a U-Haul. You're driving a U-Haul. So if you've drove a U-Haul to haul furniture or move, it's the same thing, except it's just a house inside the U-Haul. But it feels the same. There's not very much difference. At first, you're I imagine if you haven't driven anything like that, you're going to be nervous. Actually, once we really got on the highway and got in a good stretch, I let her drove for about an hour. And she was like, oh, this ain't too bad. But she was like, yes.
Because what I found out was it pulls
a little bit.
Yeah.
So
the wind.
Yeah. The wind.
But it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to go somewhere close because I told Vaughn in case something happened where he was sick or I had to be able to drive.
Right.
So I didn't want to put any strain on either one of us. But like he said, I drove it for an hour and I was fine. So the next time we drive, I'll keep doing a little bit more,
Right.
just until I get used to it.
And if you've never driven anything like that before, for me, I think the key is you don't have a rear view mirror. Yeah. So you just got to watch your side mirrors before you switch any lanes.
That is different.
You have to put your signal on and ease into the lane and make sure you got plenty of space and you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. I always tell all our customers before they leave, 99% of our accidents happen in gas stations. So
I believe that. Yeah. Because of the tail end, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So,
when you're pulling out at a gas station, the same thing with the fire truck, you have to pull all the way out, make sure you're clear because you're going to have just a little bit of a kickback.
Yep, you got it. Yep.
I'll never drive into a gas.
She told me I'm not driving into gas station.
Right. Yeah, the one thing I always joke about when I'm showing a customer around the RV is like the best part of camping is dumping the tanks.
Let's get rid of this mess.
Right. So how was that experience for you?
I did it. She was she was nowhere to be around. So I think the bottom line is when I watched 4 or 5 videos, you explained really, really thorough before we left of what to do, exactly how to do it. And we videotaped it, followed those steps. For me, it wasn't a big deal. It's just you just got to be thinking about what you're doing. You know, it's you don't want to have it open. You don't want to have it open. And you're dumping the tank, so you just got to really think about what you're doing. But it's not hard at all. I mean, it's intimidating just because you're thinking, man, if I do this wrong, we got a mess.
We got a mess in our hands.
We got a mess, and ain't nobody gonna like us,
right.
For sure.
Nobody gonna want to visit the site, huh?
Oh, definitely not. But it was definitely fairly easy. And then when we went the second time, it was, knock on wood, it was no big deal.
Right. Yep. Do you guys remember like menu food? Like what type of things did you guys do for food wise?
So here's a funny thing. The first trip we went on, we were close to the town.
Okay.
So they had like an Italian restaurant. They had other stuff. So we kind of cheated on the first trip because we went to the Italian restaurant a couple times. We went and got some pizza.
Right.
We really did cheat. I did breakfast like in the RV. So but the second trip, we wasn't as close to any town. So I actually had to cook every single day. And it actually was amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was so much fun because we got to do outdoor cooking as well as indoor cooking. It rained for a couple of days,
so we got
to experience being in the camper for almost 2 days.
Right.
And listen, let me tell you something. You've never slept like you've ever slept when it's raining in an RV. Just that sound.
Oh yeah.
Just that sound will put you to sleep.
It was very
right.
Yeah. So we got to experience the elements. But like I said, the first trip we was a little spoiled. And we really didn't get the whole camping experience. But the second trip, we truly got it, understood it, and it actually was
you were still
really
glamping.
Nice.
She's still glamping.
Well, I still call it glamping because I'm not gonna say camping. I'm gonna say glamping.
But it was fun.
Yeah. It was fun.
We got to feel more. We went to the first place we went to was very small, very intimate. Like she said, we took our bikes so we could ride 10 minutes over, and we got everything we need. The second place was in Angola, and it was a huge campground. We took our bikes again, but it was a whole different thing. And we went on during October, like trick or treat weekend. So that was a whole thing within itself.
God, it was so much fun.
And I kind of found out, of course, asking around. I'll do this everywhere I go. It seems like I end up DJing almost everywhere.
Nice. I need to go camping with you then.
Because like on the weekend they were doing something
trick or treating
for the kids, and a lot of people have their permanent campers there. So they come in for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So this campsite was huge. And so we got to ride our bikes and see everybody. They had it all decorated. And that night we had some people around us that were like kind of partiers.
Yeah.
And Von brought out his DJ, his laptop, and he just started DJing.
I just started playing music that we were listening to.
They were
right. And we were the RV we rented from you the second time had the TV on the outside.
Yep.
Oh,
Class C. So we had the TV on.
Yep.
We sitting there having drinks. And I was just playing songs, and then I realized that they were really listening to my music. So then, you know, with that being what I do, I kind of knew what to play, and oh my God, they loved it. I mean, it was a lot of fun because everybody was really friendly. They was really friendly.
Right.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, cool. One last question. So again, you guys have done this twice now. So if you remember back, like, you know, for your first trip, what advice would you give to someone that's kind of teetering, a little nervous, don't know what the black tank is, don't know what campground to go to? Like, what advice would you give them?
What'd you say first?
I think that just kind of like I did, just kind of research it and see where you want to go. Look at the reviews. Get on those Facebook pages that are for campers, people that RV, because they'll give you a lot of advice. And I think it's just mostly just taking a chance and just getting out there, because you have to do it. I recommend this to anybody who can RV. This is like
the
vacation. This is like the best thing. To me, it is better than being on a cruise ship because of being outdoors. And it's just a community, seeing all these people that travel around the country, around the states to RV. They are so close knit and they are so friendly and helpful. And I would recommend this to anybody. So if there's anybody who has doubt, seriously, do not take the chance. Do it, because you only live once.
Oh yeah,
so
that for
try
sure.
to experience everything that you possibly can.
I say from my perspective, we like to vacation as much as we can. We do cruises. We go to Mexico, cross country, across the states, those different types of things, and wanted to do this. And I would say, you know, most people, you'll look, if you really think about it, if you go on a cruise 4 or 5 days, or you go to Disney World 4 or 5 days, and then you go to look to rent from you, and you're looking at the pricing of, oh man, this RV costs this much a day. I got to put some gas in it. I got to get this, you know, then you're like, oh man, you know, I'm going to end up spending $1,500. You know what? But if you went on that cruise, or if you go to Florida, you're going to end up spending $1,500 or more.
Right.
And this vacation is so much different,
relaxing,
than any other vacation, because for her, with me, I'm working all the time. And it is that one thing. I took my laptops to edit music and all that. Both times, never touched it.
Right.
It's so It's so relaxing. It's so relaxing. It's so different than any other vacation you've ever taken. Yeah, you got to at least try it once. Go somewhere close. Maybe only do it 2 or 3 days. I say do it 3 days, because if you do it 2 days, the first day, half the day is gone. By the time you get settled in and comfortable, the next day you already thinking about, I got to leave tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I would say get it for 3 days, go somewhere close, watch a lot of YouTube videos. He's going to give you all the information that you need to be successful. You were easy to reach. If you're on the road, I could reach out to you.
Now that's true, because remember, Keith, the first time we didn't even really call you. The second time, I told Bonus, I feel like we calling him every day.
Yes, we tell.
Always just little things that was popping up we wasn't used to. But I can't say you were definitely
on it.
It was like,
as we say, put us on speed. Put us on speed dial. That's what we say.
And you know what? And here's the thing I can tell anybody. This is how good it is. When we were on the last RV trip, we were already planning our next one. So we were already getting our calendar out. We were on your website saying, okay, what are we going to rent next? What does he have that we can rent? So we were already planning the next one. So to me, it's nothing like it.
Yeah. It is.
Awesome.
Now it's just whether I'm going to keep renting from you or I'm going to buy one.
As we say, hey, travel before you buy. Travel before
That's
you buy.
That's it.
And
I mean, I think also, let me say this. I think one thing that made us very comfortable with it was not just your friendliness, just because I know you some, you know what I mean? We know each other a little bit, but I mean, just your customer service, being very attentive to, you know, our what we needed, make sure that we were good on everything. And,
and you know that I'm a germaphobe. You remember I told you.
Right.
Your RVs were so clean. I mean,
that's
clean.
good.
And I told, and Vaughn knows how I
am. That was her biggest thing. I ain't gonna lie. That was her big thing. Was like, well, let me look at this.
But you did not disappoint.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
Not one thing that was wrong. So I felt comfortable. I felt relaxed because I didn't feel like I had to clean and go behind what you guys were doing.
Right.
So to me, you gained my trust just by that.
Oh yeah, yep. And again, and we appreciate you guys for bringing it back, looking good as well. So yeah, well, awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys' time. Like I said, I think this is going to be very, very helpful for people who are in your position.
Hopefully.
Two RV rentals ago. So
yeah.
And we're on to number 3.
That's number 3.
Yeah, when we hang up, I want to book 2 more.
Yeah, he's 2 more vacations with you, or 2 more RV rentals.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it, and be talking to you guys soon.
For sure. I appreciate it. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.